Hi, my name is John Sullivan, and I'm here today to talk about my experience with Killing Floor. I bought Killing Floor when it first came out in 2009, and I loved it. Compared to games that were out at the time, like Team Fortress 2 and Left 4 Dead, Killing Floor had a different playstyle. Like Left 4 Dead, you stayed with your team and fought through huge amounts of creatures and tried not to die in the process. But instead of fighting through the level to make it to the next chapter, you kept fighting wave after wave until you reached the boss level. This was a different type of gameplay that I wasn't used to, but I loved the concept. I convinced my friends to buy the game, and after playing for a few rounds, they fell in love with it the same way I did. We would play the game for hours and hours until we would beat the boss in almost every map. We started on beginning difficulty, working our way up to Hell on Earth. And let me tell you, there are very few maps that I've beaten on that difficulty. It will give you nightmares for days. With my love of the game came a few nitpicks that I must talk about. First off, the Zeds. Even with all the fun we had playing the game, the Zeds were just too weak in my opinion. Once we got to the waves that introduced the Scrake, Fleshpound, and Husk, I felt it only took a few shots to take them down. Normally this would be on normal or hard difficulty, but the Hell on Earth difficulty would be a whole different level. It didn't seem much of a challenge as it should have been in those difficulties. Another thing I noticed when playing is that I would lag for a split second when the monsters would spawn in. Enough about the Zeds, let's talk about level design. Killing Floor was designed with a heavily modified Unreal Engine 2. The maps are beautifully designed around different parts of England, and it does make you feel like you're there, except for certain maps that take place elsewhere, which I'll talk about in a few minutes here. I really don't have much to say about the level design, except for one thing. I believe in this type of game you should be able to climb on top of certain items, more realistic items such as boxes and so forth, that could help you defeat waves. I think this would cause less stress for the players in the team if this was possible. Now, granted, there are cars that you can hop upon and help you in some situations, but certain sets can still get you without any issues. Tripwire has been very nice to add special events, free of charge, during different times of the year, mostly during holidays. These include Hillbilly Horror Fight Yard during Halloween, Summer Sideshow starting around the time of the 4th of July, and Twisted Christmas, which, you guessed it, is during Christmas. Then there is a map called Aperture, which if you can guess, takes place in the Science Laboratory in Portal 2. This event took place during the Potato Fool's Day event, which was a scavenger hunt throughout several games, mostly indie titles, arranged by Valve to promote Portal 2. When Tripwire announced they were working on a sequel, I was very excited. I was lucky enough to get to play a demo of Killing Floor 2, and I couldn't be happier in what I played and seen. I don't want to get into too much detail of the game. I want to save that for my next review, but what I can say is this: it's way better than the first game. Right off the bat, I noticed the graphics and processing power. Unlike the first game, which I had issues booting up, this game runs very smooth with a solid 60 frames per second. Of course, that is depending on what your settings are. The graphics are outstanding, more detailed than you can imagine, and the blood and gore is astonishing. The Zeds are much more difficult than the first game, which I love. It really makes you think about how to use your ammo and to keep checking your surroundings, because there are times when you can get yourself into trouble and there's no way getting out of it. It also makes you and your teammates work together to defeat tougher Zeds, but don't get me started on the boss level. That guy is a beast. Thank you for taking the time to hear me jibber-jabber about one of my all-time favorite games. I hope this review can help you decide to pick up a fun game to play with friends, especially at LAN parties. Keep an eye out for my Killing Floor 2 preview review coming soon, and don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Console Xplosion for all your nerd and geeky news. I will leave you now with comparison footage of Killing Floor and Killing Floor 2. See you guys later.
just, I love Dr. Who, but I also master I love my name. Who would win in the fight? I got a Goku as well. So that's what you're I know. They are my favorite at the time. So I'd say between Doom and Bison.
In a fight. Wait, who is a more influential and strong woman, Zelda or Samus?